Cheers and welcome my friends, I'm Horath and this is a short tutorial for species rights. Civil rights have been added to the game with the newest DLC, Stellaris Utopia. This is a free feature of the Banks patch 1.5. I'm just going to show off what it does because you might not know, and yeah, that's why I'm doing this. So I created a new game with the Great Old Ones, one of my Let's Play species, and I started out with the Syncretic Evolution Civic, which gave me 4 pops from the beginning of a subservient species. This is a DLC feature. Right, and so I got my new chimps down here, and these are my slaves. The Great Old Ones, they want slaves, and they got the new chimps over here. And what you can do is you can set rights for individual species. So there's a new feature called consumer goods. Every pop needs a certain amount of consumer goods, but you can tell them how much. So if you go to set rights over here, you get into this thing, and you can set those rights for each species separately. The other way that you get there is by just clicking here and then go to species, and then each species that you have, you can go and set their rights. So these guys are slaves. That is their citizenship. We could actually make them residents, like that would be a thing. We can't do that because we're xenophobes, but we could theoretically. But they're slaves. We could also set them to be undesirable pops, so they would be purged. Like they would not get any consumer goods anymore, but oh well. The living standards is basic subsistence, so as low as you can go without killing them. We do not budget for the dead. So they're getting as little as possible in terms of consumer goods. Currently they are not being used for military service. We could actually bring them into limited military service, produce some armies with them. But we can't really have them command, again, because we're xenophobes. We could colonize with these guys if we wanted to. So if they had a different, if they were better at settling certain planets than others, then we could actually colonize them. With them, build colony ships and all that. Currently, we actually have no population controls because we want our slave population to grow alongside our normal population. They cannot migrate at their will, at their own demand, and they have a certain type of slavery. So currently they are in chattel slavery. We're just using them to produce as much food and mineral as possible, but we could also make them domestic slaves, which would increase the happiness of our Great Old Ones, but they would be less productive. So you got to make a certain decision what you want for these guys. And these guys could also be changed into battle thralls. We could just breed them, always select the strongest and all that, and try to make them into some super soldiers. Or we could also just eat them. They cannot be employed to produce resources, but are instead regularly culled to increase the food supply, which is kind of crazy, but I mean, I like that it's there for roleplay purposes. And then there's the purge type. These guys are not being purged, but if I were to go and, yeah, if I were actually to purge them, then we would have the purge type, and we could go to forced labor over here to purge type, and we could decide how we want to do it, how we want to purge them. So if we're just going to try to kill them off as fast as possible, if we're just going to neuter them so they die off naturally, if we want to be pushed out of our borders, if we want them to be used for forced labor, so they work to their death in our camps, or if we're just gonna make them into food. I think the slavery type and the purge type are DLC features. The others are not. I think the others are free features. And we could also do the same for our Great Old Ones. Like, we could actually, yeah, we can't really take away their full citizenship because they're our starting species. Guess they wouldn't take too kindly to that, but we could, for example, push up their living standards, go for social welfare. That will cost us a little bit more minerals, but might make these guys a little bit happier. Yeah, we can basically fine control what our pops do and what they don't do, instead of having a global carpet thing for our whole empire. I'm pretty happy about these changes. I hope you found this video helpful in one form or other. If you did, please leave a like so that it can show up in search results. And yeah, tell me in the comments if you did not enjoy it, then tell me why in the comments. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Yeah, if you want to see more of my stuff, consider subscribing to my channel. I hope I see you in one of my tutorial videos or in one of my Let's Plays. Thanks, bye bye.